Oh, Hotep, everyone. That means peace, for those who do not know. And we know that there really won't be any peace until there is, in fact, justice. And that's why we are here today. Isn't that right? I bring to you several messages today, not only from the historic Mumia Women March, which not only is a part of Black history for this month, but also a part of women's history. Because it is the largest gathering in the world of any women anywhere ever. And it will remain that because it happened in the 20th century. So no matter what happens now, that's a wrap. That can never be changed, okay? So it will remain intact. I've been charged to make certain that it now develops into the movement that it was initially designed to be. But one thing that many do not know is how the Mumia Women March began to become established. It's a little known secret that one of the, actually two of the motivating factors was the situation with Move and Mumia Abu-Jamal. Now you might wonder, now how could that be? What does that have to do with women? A lot. Because in 1981, December 9th, it not only affected the Black community, the Latino community, the communities of justice and consciousness, really throughout the world, it affected my life personally. Because just a few months prior to that, I was able to witness a man stand up in the midst of a group when the question was asked, if something should happen to this child's father, who will stand up and take care of him? And it was Mumia that stood up and said, I will. So, how does it affect women? It affects women deeply. It affects women greatly to bear witness to see that kind of a man to stand up, to take charge, and to take responsibility. So I knew then that something had to be done that wasn't being done, at least not in Philadelphia, because at that point, so many of our Black community representatives have sold out. They've sold out today. This too must be addressed. And then, of course, the situation with the bombing of Move and an entire block, there wasn't any more voices that was clearly heard, especially after Mumia. And we all realized that that was part of the reason why he ended up in the situation that he was in. Let us not forget that. So to bring that information to 1 million women so that it doesn't happen to their son, their daughter, their father, and so forth, it was important. Both situations happened in Philadelphia, the premier death row case, Philadelphia. The bombing of a family and a block, Philadelphia. So why not, as Pam just said, 2.5 million women be told the truth in Philadelphia? Okay. So what we started was the beginning of the first global movement for all women and girls of African descent, regardless of religion, regardless of political background, etc. It's never been done before, like the Mumia Women March. And please note, the Mumia Women March had no corporate sponsoring, had no major benefactors. It was done strictly from the grassroots. Never been done before. So it's something very special and unique there. But also, when we now see injustice, such as what we just saw in a recent article that appeared in the Final Call, that talked about the new DA, Seth Williams, that talked about the new and the first Black or the person of color in Philly to hold that position, but didn't talk about he ran on the campaign of murdering Mumia. So when we learned this, we knew, again, that we had to take some action, just as we did in '97 to make certain that information was brought forward. So a call was made, and as a result, Lynn Washington has agreed to write a counter article for the final call. That will, in fact, address the issue of the real Seth Williams and his agenda. So that article is due to come out next week. It'll also appear right in time for Sister Pam Africa and myself to do a major presentation at what is known as Savior's Day. This is the 80th year for Savior's Day, and we've been directly invited by Minister Farrakhan to be not only involved, but to make major presentations. So it is very clear that the Nation of Islam is in support of the freedom of Mumia Abu-Jamal. Again, the Million Women Movement is now an international global movement. Sisters, you hear me? Okay? Because unfortunately, our voices are not really heard in a lot of areas, including the areas of political prisoners, the prison industrialized complex, and so forth.